Once again, looking at our overview of Champion's Mindset, we're going to move over here, and you should do so again in your guide, to the trait of helpfulness. So as I do that, make sure that you can find the particular part of your guide where we go into all these aspects, and I'll walk you through the main components of the helpfulness trait. So the definition first, being helpful is making it easier to do a job or deal with a problem or giving help. Now, when it comes to the trait of helpfulness, most people are usually helpful in some way or another. And this is a trait that most people have, but there are ways that you can intelligently use helpfulness in your business or your service. And here's one thing that you might want to consider or think about. Being helpful even when you're not necessarily paid to do so. I'm sure you've seen examples of this. Maybe you've even done it in your life. But how awesome is it when you go to a store or deal with a business or a vendor or even outside of the world of business, anywhere else, and you're dealing with someone and they're helping you and they're getting rewarded. They're getting paid, because they're helping you either through a service or maybe they're selling you a product. But then you have some additional questions that kind of go beyond the scope of what they can do for you. But they naturally extend themselves because they just genuinely care. They genuinely want to be helpful. And sometimes that means them not selling you their product or service and actually referring you to somebody else who's better equipped to handle your particular problem. When that happens, when you're on the receiving end of that, it creates a very powerful dynamic, and I'm sure that if it's happened to you, you genuinely appreciated it. And I'm sure that if you've used this tact or this particular strategy in your business to help other people in this way, that you've received a great deal of appreciation in return. And there's an incredible power to this. Being helpful even when you're not paid to do so, doing more than you're paid to do, going above and beyond the call of duty is never, ever a bad idea. And there's a great quote from Laura Ingalls Wilder that says, "As you read my stories of long ago, I hope you will remember that the things that are truly worthwhile and that will give you happiness are the same now as they were then. Courage and kindness, loyalty, truth, and helpfulness are always the same, and they're always needed." There's also a great example when it comes to the example of John Jones. If you're considering the champion's mindset in your life, you don't have to go much further than his story. He was a champion by its very definition. He's one of the greatest fighters in the history of sports. He is currently UFC's lightweight champion of the world, or at least the time of shooting this video. And he was the youngest Ultimate Fighting champion ever, and has successfully defended the light heavyweight belt more than anyone in UFC history. He is a champion capitalized. Someone asked, why does he need to be helpful? He is at the pinnacle of his career. He has everything he's ever wanted and is completely on a level of his own. When does he have time to be helpful? Well, like any fighter, Jones is part of a team, and he often helps his fellow teammates prepare for fights. The benefit? They help him as well. That is the true power of helping. He needed help to get where he was, and the best way to get it was the help he gave in turn. But sometimes help comes with no reciprocation. You have to be aware of that. Mere hours before the biggest fight of his life, at the time anyways, John Jones spotted someone breaking into a car, not his car, just some random person's car, and stealing some items. Jones ran after the thief and subdued him until the police came. He didn't worry about his fight in hours. He just acted and helped him and helped out. Later that night, he became the youngest champion in UFC history. I think it goes without saying that that is the ultimate example of a champion's mindset. So here's a couple of examples that you can go look up in your guide, and you want to do these as well. It's a very simple exercise. It's very easy to help people. Before you continue reading this guide or going through the rest of the program, spend some time today being helpful. Start by helping someone close to you. It can be simple, like giving a friend a compliment that boosts their spirit. And then write down who did you help and how did you help them. Then next, offer to help someone you know who needs it. I'm sure you know somebody who needs help, so take that first step and just offer to give them help. Make a list of who needs it and figure out how you can help them. Make that list as long as possible so you can do this over time, not just today, but ongoing. Next, get the ball rolling on some serious helping. Do some online research to find an important cause to support. It should be something or someone that really touches you so that you have sort of an emotional connection. Reach who you want to help and choose one way or more that you can help in any way possible. So then we give you a place in the book to for a cause or a person that you want to support, and then making a list of how you want to help them. And then from there, it's just really up to you to take action.